I'm sending you just 2 documents, so you'll see them in a few. Good morning. All right, there we go. I'm sure y'all are all woke now and all paid attention. I won't have any problem keeping you. All right. Want to offer you this as our call to worship today. This message comes from Audre Lorde, one of my favorite ancestors, a Caribbean lesbian writer who was speaking the truth in her time. It's called Poetry is Not a Luxury. Poetry is not a luxury. Poetry is not a luxury. It is a vital necessity for our existence. It forms the quality of light within which we predicate our hopes, our dreams toward survival and change, first made into language, then into ideas, and into more tangible action. Poetry is a way we help give name to the nameless, so it can be thoughts. The farthest external horizon of our hope and fears are cobbled by our poems, carved from the rock of experience of our daily life. I welcome you today. Hold on. All that's moving today. Look, we're going to be dancing. You want to teach me to dance today, Jim? All right, we're going to chalice light right now. Look at me. We light this chalice, remembering and honoring our tradition and celebrating the rich diversity of traditions among us. As we search for justice, meaning, and purpose, may we remember the justice, meaning, and purpose. Live first and deeply listening to one another. We dance? Okay.
Good morning. I'm Jim Kavanaugh, a life member.
And I'm Laura Ettinger, and hi! If everyone would like to join me really quickly, we're going to wake our senses. Thanks, Jim. You could rise as you're able in body or spirit and join in singing number 298, Wake Now My Senses. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each of them who quest for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the white sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
Take not for granted a privileged place. Hi, I'm Jim Kavanaugh, a life member of UCH, a member of the worship team since its inception, and a lay community minister of this congregation since 2005. I share leadership of today's service with our guest, Reverend Dr. J. Exodus Hooper. They serve, okay, big difference. Thank you. Keep forgetting that yes. They serve First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis as their community minister and as an ethical culture leader. Whether you are a member or visitor joining us in person or you're worshiping virtually, we are so happy that you have chosen to join us this morning. For our worshipers online, a Zoom online coffee hour will follow services starting at 11:30. For those here in person, we will have coffee hour in person in the common room downstairs. If you're new here, go out this door, off to the side, down the stairs, and follow the crowd. Please speak with Michael McCullough if you're interested in helping with coffee hour. He'll be away for a few weeks soon, and we do like our coffee, which takes someone to fix it. We're so happy that you have chosen to worship with us, and we welcome you to our fellowship hours and any other in-person or online activities held by the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. In the spirit of the transformative power of community in all its forms, I'm so happy to welcome you to the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. Whoever you are, wherever you live, whomever you love, whatever you do for a living, you are welcome here. And now please join me in the unison reading of our covenant as printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Can I switch my role? Is that okay? Yeah. All right. Draw me close to you. And never let me go. I lay it all down again to hear you say that I'm your friend. You were my desire. No one else can do. 'Cause nothing else can take your place. To feel the warmth of your embrace. Help me find my way. Bring me back to you. 'Cause you're all I want. And you're all I've ever needed. And you're all I want. Help me know you are near. 'Cause you're all I want. And you're all I've ever needed. And you're all I want. Help me know you are near. Help me know you are near. Help me know you are near. Don't you ever leave my side. Don't you ever leave my side. And don't you ever leave my side. Help me know you are near.
I'm Karen Sykes, filling in for Corey Ness, who's not able to be with us today. So this is the story, The Time for All Ages. Choose your words wisely. Once upon a time, an old man spread rumors that his neighbor was a thief. As a result, the young man was arrested. Days later, the young man was proven innocent. After being released, the man felt humiliated as he walked to his home. He sued the old man for wrongly accusing him. In court, the old man told the judge, "These were just comments, didn't harm anybody." The judge, before passing sentence on the case, told the old man, "Write all the things you said about him on a piece of paper. Cut them up on the way home. Throw the pieces out. Tomorrow, come back to hear the sentence." So the next day, the judge told the old man, "Before receiving the sentence, you will have to go out and gather all the pieces of paper that you threw out yesterday." And the old man said, "Well, I can't do that. The wind must have spread them, and I won't know where to find them." The judge then replied, "The same way, simple comments may destroy the honor of a man to such an extent that one is not able to fix it." The old man realized his mistake and asked for forgiveness. So, of course, you can probably figure out what the moral is. Do not blame anyone without knowing the fact or truth. Your words may ruin someone's reputation without any fault of theirs.
This is the time in our service when we invite you to share a joy, sorrow, or concern. For those worshiping online, feel free to type your concern into the chat, and one of our techs will prepare a slip to share if you give us permission. For our in-person worshipers, we invite you to come forward to light a candle, put a stone in the water, or both, or write a message to be shared. If you write something, please indicate if you don't wish it to be shared out loud. To keep the flow moving slowly, please come up the middle aisle and down the side aisles. Spoken or unspoken, your joy, sorrow, or concern is held in our thoughts and prayers. I will light one candle and put one stone for the joys, concerns, and sorrows that remain unspoken, as well as those of people worshiping online. two joys and concerns were sent in online from Christian. I recently got a job at Costco, which is nice, but the schedule conflicts with the holidays, meaning for me, the first time I will miss Christmas Eve. From Barbara Holmes, Dayton Holmes fell off our roof and broke his left leg in multiple places. He had emergency surgery last Saturday. Please send thoughts to raise his spirits. From Jesse, currently I'm having financial issues and I'm suffering somewhat from food insecurity. I have official assistance, but the applications are taking a while to process. In the meantime, any help, advice, support I would give would be grateful for. Thank you. And from Linda, we love you, Gen Z.
We love you, Gen Z. I'm here for it, yes. This is our moment of meditation or prayer. Please find yourself in a posture that you find suitable. Not only suitable, but comfortable. Not only comfortable, but where you can be you. Spirit of life. Spirit of life. As we have offered all of our joys and concerns, as we have offered a whole week, possibly dealing with various twists and turns, thank you for this moment of community, that we are here. We are here. We are here and beloved. We are here and we are held. We are here and we are seen. We are here because we belong. Spirit of life, thank you for walking with us and talking with us. Thank you for allowing for us to engage each other in interactions and interconnected experiences of conversation, relationship, love, devotion, and maybe sometimes conflicts that we seek to resolve. Grant us peace. May we be peace. May we give love. May we show love. May we be models daily of the life that we are called to live amongst each other, reflecting a human dignity that we should be able to look at as a reflection between each other. May we offer each other a smile and a joy that is absolutely contagious. And may our hearts be uplifted today after a week of waves we have learned to ride. I thank this community. I thank the spirit of life in this community. I thank the community for being beloved, beautiful, and all things that are blessed. Ashe.
you for sharing your voice with us, Laura. In his essay, If Black English Isn't a Language, Then Tell Me What Is, James Baldwin tells us that language is meant to define the other. The other is refusing to be defined by a language that has never been able to recognize him. After reading Baldwin's essay, I've come to appreciate that I've been speaking white English all my life, and it has harmed people of color because of the assumptions that live in my head and inform my speaking. When the anti-racism training here at UCH, thank you, Kate, thank you, Cordell, introduced me to the idea of white supremacy culture, I was appalled. Me, part of white supremacy culture? Yep. If white people are swimming downstream 24/7 and find it easy, while brown and black people are swimming upstream and find it hard work and sometimes dangerous, then white supremacy culture is alive and well, and my language has worked to perpetuate the situation. It still does, but when the UCH training opened my eyes to the reality my black and brown friends have been living with all along, I started resisting old habits. This shirt is one that I had made last February in honor of Black History Month. When the little Black history factoids I kept encountering on Facebook overwhelmed me, I realized that the problem is trying to crowd all that history into 1 month, and it's the shortest month of the year. Now I know that Black history is American history. It is not separate, and furthermore, separate in the US has usually meant not equal. It's right here. I never learned about the collapse of Reconstruction after the Civil War, the Tulsa riot, the 4,440 lynchings, the redlining that kept returning black GIs from buying a house after World War II. I could go on and on and on. But the challenge is not just my words, but the way that I say them, coming from a place of normal equals white. I realize the default setting of our culture has been white since 1619, when the first African slaves arrived at Jamestown. My whiteness has trained me to assume and expect that my point of view matters. Salespeople who followed me in a store just want to sell me stuff, and the traffic cop who stops me just wants to protect and serve, as their motto states. I've tried to train myself by going to a black-owned barbershop, by making black friends both in person and on Facebook, by reading black authors as much as possible, and by reading and saving articles about systemic racism in our country and how it harms all of us. And I know there's still much to learn, so I will continue to expand my horizons. My 2023 calendar from the National Museum of African American History and Culture is ready to go, reminding me each month of some aspect of Black history I was never taught in school. The January picture is a painting depicting President Obama, Dr. King, and other significant people, places, and events. It reminds me, by the way, to use the titles the way my black friends do. There will be more to follow each month of the year. Feel free to join me.
Thank you so much, Jim. And thank you everyone who has been a huge support this week. I'm so grateful to be here before you. I want to, in your hearing, just go a little bit further into what James Baldwin is saying. In addition to that, I want to offer you, of course, another portion of an in-depth conversation probably about what James Baldwin is doing and offering us. If Black English isn't a language, then tell me what is. This is so James Baldwin. It's very much his style, his grit, his boldness, his courageousness. And anybody who has ever read James Baldwin, they are probably very familiar with the tone. It comes with a charismatic correction. I like Baldwin a lot. Baldwin says here in one of these excerpts, he says, people evolve a language in order to describe and thus control their circumstances. I want you to sit with that for a few minutes. Evolve a language in order to describe, thus control their circumstances. And in order not to be submerged by a reality that they cannot articulate. And if they cannot articulate it, they are submerged. For example, Baldwin says, a Frenchman living in Paris speaks subtly and crucially different language from a man living in Marseille. Neither sound very much alike as a man living in Quebec. And they would all have great difficulty comprehending what the man from Guadeloupe is saying, to say nothing to the man also from Senegal. Although the common language in which it turns out, they are not saying and cannot be saying the same thing. They each have different realities to articulate or control. Let's go a little further. It goes without saying, perfect, Baldwin, then that language is also a political instrument, a means of proof of power. It is the most vivid and crucial key to identify. It reveals the private identity and connects one with or divorces one from the larger public and communal identity. There has been and are times and places when to speak a certain language could be dangerous, even fatal. Or one may speak the same language, but in such a way that the one's antecedents are revealed or one's hopes are hidden. I'll stop there. To control our circumstances, to control our ability, we seem to all be speaking the same thing. I am not really interested per se, if you will, in what language, how we speak language, as much as I'm interested in the role of language. And so why would I offer this to a congregation? I think we do quite well. I love how we enter our spaces. We enter our spaces with knowing so much robust language. I was speaking with Jim on the phone over the weekend. One of the things that me and Jim began to talk about simply was his awareness about his whiteness. Perfectly fine. And as me and Jim began to unpack, I shared with Jim, I'm not interested necessarily in how the language works, as much as I'm interested in modeling. Modeling is a language. It's not just action. It is body language. And so today my message is entitled Word to Your Mother. Love language. Because anyone who is been brought into the world is a manifestation of that love language, to exist. And so I want to offer you a little deeper in depth, and maybe if you can join me in a philosophical journey of a love language rooted in the tradition of the Dogon people in Mali. The Dogon people in Mali often practice a mythology or ritual around language as creation. This particular mythology is called Namo. Can everybody say that with me? Namo. Namo deals with creation. I'm particularly interested in what James Baldwin says here around the proof of power. Our ability in our congregational spaces, as much as our ability in this community, hopefully in Harrisburg, is to create. We create change. We can create transformation, but it depends on how you see your power. If you see yourself coming here on a Sunday and not taking it with you out there to impact somebody else's life, well, then you probably have not realized your ability to go out in the world to affect and elicit the best in others. But might I invite you to do so? Might I invite you to create with your fellow human beings? Might I invite you to share in dialogues that you have yet to realize? But I don't know the language. I don't know their pronouns. I don't know what they represent. I don't know who they... Okay, right? All of that moment, I want you to take in and just be like, but I have the ability to create. Namo is a very interesting ritual practice in the Dogon land. Oftentimes it is a headdress that often looks like a lizard. This lizard then is on the top of the head, and often the ritual makers are on stilts. They walk on stilts, and as they go forward, they actually leap in the air to grab this divine energy and then make contact to the ground again in order to experience manifestation. Can I talk as a humanist for a minute? So what happens is this, quote, divine energy is seeking meaning. For some people like James Cone, Dr. James Cone would have said, I wake up every morning in order to understand his purpose to seek meaning in life. So he wakes up to seek meaning. Making contact to the reality that James Baldwin speaks of is being able to step into his purpose, which I would offer as a form of matter. Now, why is this Dogon creature, mythical creature, Namo, so interesting to me, and particularly regards to James Baldwin? Because Baldwin is interested in connecting us in the middle. Because Namo stretches the heavens and the earth for some, or our reality to our ideas. And so there's a lot of time in the middle to exist in the creation we want to be. Imagine for yourself, if you will, a moment that if you practice Namo, if you practice a love language, and I'm suggesting that Namo is the love language, I'm suggesting that Baldwin is holding us accountable to weave in between the dialects and the geography and the race and the gender and the age and the sexes, and to find a language that I only think can happen in our spaces. I do believe that our congregational community calls us, like the energy of Namo, to be holistic. Holistic in the sense that when I experience this community, I experience the wholeness of you as well as I experience the wholeness of myself. That I see you equitably, not just equally, equitably. Shared experiences without having to play struggle Olympics, oppression Olympics. Knowing that your story matters and knowing that mine matters too. But at the same time, holding space for how we need to show up to create moments of transformation. Justice, if you will. Maybe going out to the polls to vote. Maybe it's the moment where you are trying to transform an experience with a friendship. Maybe it is reconciling your differences. There is transformation in that. Namo sees the whole picture, the whole transformation. It is a language of change. And Baldwin is offering us the moment to look at the larger thing that we have tried to control and said, if I put language to it, I can control it. But might I invite you not to try to control everything around you and just lay language on it? Might I invite you to spend time getting to know folk and have such a relationship to the point that you want to create with them, collaborate with them so that they can experience the same transformation with you? Maybe invite someone. I know oftentimes I'm often inviting my mother with me to explore with me in her most unique way, to be with me in such different spaces that we did not grow up in. Y'all know my story. Yeah, I'm an apostolic. I came out of that tradition and then went to Union and then became really involved in justice. And I realized that my theology was not going to be the same no more. And so all of that just changed because my language changed. My focus changed. So our first point is to make sure that we use a language that changes. The second point is that with NAMO, form follows function. Everything that I do is within my practice. It is within my aesthetic. If I call you beautiful, it's because I also see myself as beautiful. When I say that you're beloved, it's because I see myself as beloved. I would never speak anything to you that I would not want to see in my own life. I would never want to call you something or speak to you in a way that doesn't reflect the character. I don't care how many credentials I have. Character over credentials. Amen. I'm a firm believer in it. And what it does is it allows for us to lean in deeper. Because I'm not interested in necessarily leaning into spaces where I can correct you. I am interested in leaning in spaces where we can collaborate to make a shift. Here, Baldwin is talking about really dealing with the aspect of language from that framework of dialect. And I might have a different way of doing this thing that we do today, right? Which has offered a lot of joy and laughter. But joy and laughter has also been transformational for some folk. How many times have you laughed in their service? Okay. We don't laugh in UU services all the time. And I know that's the case sometimes, but not all the time, right? And these are things that are moments that we embody. We have to embody that form so that we begin to elicit, so that we begin to courageously ask people to practice, participate. NAMO is about participation. It is the moment where this community starts building its meaning. You start building your meaning. You start looking at your focus. You start looking at how you belong in this Harrisburg community. And then you look at how you fit in the geographical central PA region. And you look at, do you see how that just expands out? It's not just here. It's not just you. It's a shared collective language that says I'm willing to do change, number one, but I'm also willing to share in transformation, number two. I'm willing to embody my practice, number three, and I'm willing to participate. Why? Because NAMO says I have to unify with the collective. It is a unifying agent. It comes with a creative attitude. Creative people who lean deeply into their imagination or their ideals or their creativity or their ingenuity, they can come off as very intimidating because there's so much vision. They can have a lot of vision. And then, of course, some of our dear friends who are deeply analytical, they will pick it and go at it, and they're trying to understand it. And sometimes the vision is too big, and then sometimes the other part of it is just like, but it's got to make sense. And how do I make it? You're playing NAMO. You're finding meaning, and you're making it matter, and you're making it into a reality, and you're going in between. And I want to encourage you today to lean in to those postures. I can guarantee you that most of you are probably speaking the same thing. I can guarantee you that somebody wants to see you just as valuable as they see themselves. I can guarantee you that no one is really interested in making you uncomfortable. And if I can offer you the little words of Reverend Howard Thurman, Dr. King's mentor, he said, I want to be me without making it uncomfortable for you to be you. How do I do that? I take on a love language that says I want to create with you. I take on a love language that says I want to change with you. I take on a love language that says I want to practice what I am saying. I don't want to just think before I speak. I want to create before I speak. I want to already imagine you in a place where we can be in one moment together, working towards change, working towards shifting things, working towards changing policy, working towards making differences in our community, making sure that when we hear joys and concerns about people being hungry, we know how to step in and serve. Because one hungry person, one person struggling with needs is also affecting you. Love language is a designation of power. I don't like often using that word, but it feels very apropos right now. After what I have seen us witness with the polls recently, it concerns me that we are having a power struggle. And our powers are split. And because our powers are split and easily divided, I am concerned that we are focused on a duality of that power instead of the wholeness of what that power can do. I'm gonna be a techie for a few minutes. I'm breaking clerical rules on the pulpit. But I have to in order to point out this note to self for us, because it is really important for me to name that no matter your ballot box, all is not lost. Our ideas of justice have become two polarized powers, a winner and a loser. However, that is not the dignity of democracy. When it comes to saying that we want justice for all, there should be no such thing as a winner and a loser. It is time to find the love language of our neighbor, making our stranger into a beloved community. Whether we like it or not, this is an opportunity to hold each other accountable, to keep our enemies closer than our friends. And I do mean so-called enemies. Winning is in our ability to practice unity for the sake of community agency. This election should never deceive you or deter you from the mission of having right relationship. That was on my Facebook. I wrote that to remind some folk who were in absolute despair, who were concerned about which way the votes were going. And I myself knew that if we actually practiced and did not lose our mission of right relationship, that we actually focused on the worth and dignity of every human being, if we really actually leaned in uncomfortably to hear some of the cries of those that we disagree with, to really get to the fact of not only what they mean, but why they matter, we might be able to change the course of how we see each other. I don't want to just think before I speak. My voice matters too much. I don't want to just show up here and just talk to you because it feels good to sound extra philosophical today. I actually want to invite you to practice loving each other a little bit deeper with a language that always offers us a chance to dare, to grow, and to go on a quest together, to find the meaning in between so that we can get to the place where we matter. I hope that these words, I hope that this moment with Namo, with a love language, that it offers us the ability today to create, to change, to practice, to build community. But one of my most favorite things at the end of Namo is that we get the chance to celebrate. What good is having love if you cannot celebrate and be liberated in it? Right? And I'm a firm believer in that. And I'm sure we are firm believers in that work, because that, when we can meet in the middle, if we can meet at the center, we get to a place where we are actually celebrating not just me, not just you, but everybody in this space, everybody outside of this space, and we can invite them in this space. I don't care if you are on Zoom or YouTube and you are watching this. Hi, family. I'm celebrating you. I'm celebrating me. I'm celebrating this community, because that is the part of love that is liberating. That is the love liberation. That is the love language that we need to aspire to. So I invite you to continue to practice a little bit of what black English is, in the words of James Baldwin. You ain't even got to be black to practice it. Just be ready to change. Love y'all.
The Unitarian Church of Harrisburg is, as always, a freely gathered church of free people. The church is created, sustained, and supported by us. Each month, we share half of our Sunday plate with a local nonprofit organization. For the month of November, we will be sharing the plate with the Ecumenical Food Pantry. For 50 years, they have worked to meet the emergency food needs of people in the greater Harrisburg area. And there's more details in the insert in your order of service. For those who wish to contribute online, please see the email that brought you the link for today's service, or visit our uchbg.org homepage for options for contributing. For those here in the sanctuary, the collection plates will be passed around by today's ushers. Your financial support and commitment matter. Please consider giving what you are able.
For our closing hymn, if you all could rise as you're able in body and or spirit, we'll be singing number 1008 in your teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is
One of my founders, the founder of ethical culture, would often say that where people go and seek the highest is holy ground. Very beautiful thing that he would say. I offer that as this benediction that we continue to seek that ground. And with the extinguishing of this chalice, I say, go be the power. Go create justice. Go create love. Be the way to peace. Be the truth of peace. Be the light of peace. May it be so.